It's Anthony with Land Title. I wanted to bring you the Boulder County market update for the month of March. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on here, and one of the biggest takeaways is that inventory is finally on the rise. So because it's springtime, this is listing season, right, where lots of people finally list their homes, and we are being huge recipients of that because we directly are only basically able to sell what comes on the market because the inventory situation is so low. So one of the biggest things I wanted to talk to you about today is inventory and what that looks like and what's going to happen through the springtime. So here you can see that inventory is starting to rise, and because of that, under contracts and sales are all about to rise as well. So through that, this is a really good sign for your buyers, but unfortunately, there's also a lot more buyers coming on the market because there's more to shop with. So if you look over here at the active listings available on the market, Boulder at one point was representing about half of the market. We're really starting to see every one of these markets pick up. So now that there's tons of listings coming on the market in different areas, we're starting to see places like Erie have 30 listings active right now, or Longmont has 77 listings. It's a huge breath of fresh air from like the 40 last month. So now that we're starting to see that type of behavior, I think it's really showing that the spring market is taking off. Now here is one other thing that I think is worth noting. Our inventory is still half month supply of what we were before. So we're only at 0.5 months of inventory at this point in time, which really goes to show you, even though that inventory is starting to pick up, that buyer demand is still really, really high. Now, what do we usually measure buyer demand by? The days on market. So here you can see that days on market right now are at 15. 15 is half of what it was at this time last year, and more. It's actually a faster paced market than it was at the peak of the market last year in that May, June, and July timeframe, where we usually see homes turn over super, super quick because you have so many buyers and so many active listings, and it's just a very rapid market. Well, we're already there in March. So what that really means is that spring buying season came early, that sellers are kind of slow to list still, but the buyers are really, really active. So with that being said, I think one of the most important things we can talk about is what's happening by price point. So when we look at active units, month over month, the active units across all segments pretty much rose, outside of some of the weird ones like 300,000, which really just don't have any homes left in Boulder County in that range. But with all of that inventory starting to rise and sellers coming to market, buyers are definitely taking advantage of that, but it's so competitive. You can see that it's turning over just incredibly rapid, and the luxury market is still booming. We've been talking about the luxury market, it feels like a year and a half, 2 years, where we've been talking so much about the luxury market, but it is still just gangbusters. I mean, 2 to 3 million is just so much ahead of where it was last year. 2.5 to 3 million, we're up 150% in our sales. Don't be concerned that the 3+ million is only down by 2 sales from this time last year. Keep in mind, last year was like the greatest luxury year we'd ever seen in Boulder County. And it really seems like that ceiling has come off. It's not like we're stuck at that 5 million range anymore. You're really seeing homes well above that in this marketplace. So lots of interesting things happening here, but the other one that I would use with your clients when you're looking at this is the month supply of inventory and days on market by price point. You can really see here just how competitive it is under 1.5 million. Even in the luxury price points though, we're talking 1 month, 1.5 months of inventory, 3+ millions at 3 months of inventory. So even with homes coming on the market, there are still so many buyers taking advantage of that. They're coming off the market within a week or two, right? You're seeing that at most price ranges. The other thing that's worth noting here, it doesn't matter the price point right now. Every single price point has a super, super hot set of buyers, right? Buyers are out there inactive at 3 million. They're out there at 300,000, right? So as you see homes turning over, expect that every single segment is going to have bidding wars, and every single segment has a ton of active buyers looking for those homes. So biggest takeaways here are get listings to market sooner than later, and if you're a buyer, stay with it, because one thing you'll see here in the next coming slides is that this is not going to slow down that soon, right? And we definitely might get priced out of this market if you don't look at something sooner than later. So here's our average sold price, basically by combined market. So you can see here the trailing 12 months of all of the submarkets is up 20 to 25%, we really are seeing appreciation in those levels. That 25% more expensive than this time last year to buy a home in Boulder County. And now we have interest rates starting to rise, and that's putting even more pressure on these markets. So if you're a buyer, you need to stay active. You need to get a home sooner than later, because you could be priced out of this market very soon if you're not already feeling that pressure. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about was the percentage sold price to list price. And here is the most incredible thing we've ever seen. We're seeing a seller's market even hotter than last year and earlier than last year. So here we're seeing March at 108.4% list sale price. That is bidding wars across every price range. The hottest part of the market was 1 to 1.5 million in Boulder County. Who would have ever thought that that would have the most bidding wars? And it was 111, almost 112% list sale price. So what that means is you're going to experience bidding wars anywhere in this market right now, and you're really going to see stuff turning over super, super quick. So if stuff is priced appropriately, you can drive those bidding wars and you can really take advantage of that as a seller. If you're a buyer, just understand in that price range what's happening and what's going on. And if you look over at the attached market is now running in parallel to the detached market, and it's at 106% listed sale price, which is well above any time last year, because now we have no inventory in the attached market as well. And it's far more desirable now that we're more into this, post-COVID new normal. So as people are getting more comfortable moving back into the city centers, we're seeing that attached market booming even more. If you have any other questions, I'm Anthony at Land Title, and I hope to catch you on the next video.